Hello, my friends. How you all doing? I hope you're doing amazing. Y'all, every time someone asks me how I'm doing and I say amazing, they're always taken aback, which is so fascinating to me, right? But yeah, you better be doing amazing, my friends. You're alive. Are you kidding? That's amazing. It's nothing less than that. So I hope you're doing amazing. Y'all, another great topic today. How to use your money powerfully. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that your money is worth to be used or used, what's the right word? Powerfully. And that's what we're going to talk about today because here's something I noticed. Like even with our clients, it's like we live. Listen, I understand we're bombarded by so many things in this world that if you're not careful, you could feel so overwhelmed that you just go back into shutting down mode and kind of want to hide from the world, which because you're thinking you want to hide, you start living a very passive life. So we start spending money and not really understanding why we spend money the way we do. And next thing you know, there's just a level of accumulated negative emotions that we haven't processed. Because every time you're using your money, a tool, in a way that doesn't feel aligned with who you are on the inside and the goals you have for your life, there's a disconnect that happens. And if you don't notice it, it's just dropping negative emotions in your body. And when those emotions aren't practiced or processed, they get trapped in your system. And then after a while, they overload your system. And then you have an episode of mental breakdown the little thing can just trigger you into a panic attack. And most people may be able to live their whole life without having a panic attack, but there's a level of disconnection that gets blown out of proportion because you haven't been processing your emotions. Emotions are such powerful tools given to us at birth that when we don't use them well, they backfire. It backfires. One of the ways we misuse our emotions is how we spend money. When we're just always swiping the card, it's fine, but your brain is registering a pattern. And when you don't notice it, it's creating disconnection, distrust, mistrust, and all of that negativity accumulates in your body. It leaks energy. You're feeling tired, sluggish, lacking motivation, lacking the joie de vivre. All of those are like in the tiny little things you do every day. And so today I want to talk about how to use your money powerfully so that you can stay present with the way you're spending and know that you are in agreement with the way you're spending. Like all of you are on board. Amy, Penny, everybody is on board, right? Now, here's the thing. I talked about Amy before. Amy is not necessarily, she doesn't need to get on board, but you are able to tell her why you're doing what you're doing. Because Amy, I wrote an email about this. Amy is going to want to talk to you about why you should spend money for false pleasures because it just satisfies the patterns that she's established. And you're going to have to tap into Penny to determine what is the best way for you to use money in a way that you don't have regrets, you don't have mind shatter, and you don't have unprocessed emotions. That your health is taken care of while you're spending money. Because here's another thing I noticed with people is you spend money because in the beginning you didn't really plan on how you were going to do it powerfully. And then whatever you bought goes to waste, whether it's a program, a physical purchase that you have, you don't take care of it. You don't enjoy it. You sign up for a program. You don't show up for the program. You don't take full advantage of it. You work with a coach and you're constantly arguing with your coach. That's not using your money powerfully. If you're paying a fitness coach to help you guide you in your fitness journey, if you're paying a health coach to guide you in your health journey, using your money powerfully means that you're actually using the advice they're giving you. You're actually following through on what they're teaching you. You're implementing, you're getting results, you're getting feedback, you're coming back to the session, getting coached on what's not working. That's just one of the ways. So if you're spending money and you're not sure on how to get a return, we need to talk. And you need to have a come to Jesus moment and understand what's happening here. What's going on? What's going on? Are we in a society where we're just living off of consumer? Are we just spending money willy-nilly? Which is fine. I never tell my clients how to spend their money. I don't believe in that. I have an account for myself where I just put money every week. And when I want, I just spend money. I don't have parameters for that account. If there's money in the account, I can just do whatever I want with that money. It doesn't matter. And I love that lifestyle because there's no pressure. So I don't account for every single dollar in that account. And it's my fun accounts. So that is why I don't tell my clients what to do with their money. Now, what I do want from my clients and from you listening is that when you make a purchase, when you spend money that you've worked hard to earn, that you feel aligned with that purchase, with that spending, that expense. And when you know you are in alignment is you don't have any mind chatter after you spend the money. You don't have the desire to refund whatever you purchase. And you know you can list the specific tangible result you got from the spending, from the expense. If you can't remember how much you spent, which by the way, that has happened to me multiple times. I am the queen of swiping the card and coming back to the card and thinking, how much did I swipe the card for? Especially when I use the card from that account that I told you about. That is the worst. When I use my credit cards or if I use money from my expense account, anything like that, I will know how much I spent. The minute I pull out the card from this specific fund account, I forget. I'm like, yeah, I don't remember how much I swiped. It's so chronic. I promise. So I understand. But I think it's because I call it the fun account where there's no pressure. Like I loosen up in that stage of my relationship with my money, right? And you can do the same thing. So what I'm saying is, if you don't know how much you spend and you want to know, but you don't know, then that is a problem that you can solve. So in the Money Academy, we have a decision-making course, which I am so excited to add a little more component to this because there is a process that I have followed through that I'm going to teach in Money Academy to add to this course, decision making. It's important for you to have your own decision making framework, but part of that is how you follow through on the decision, which is why talking about how you spend your money is part of this. But there's also another section about how spending money as a skill that we teach in a separate section of a different course in Money Academy. But in the decision-making framework, I follow this process. This is like a tangent that is a little bit related, but I wanted to share this with you because I'm really excited about this discovery. So because I study the brain and I'm doing all the research on neuroscience when it comes to the brain and human behavior, when it comes to money, I did this specific research and turns out I was able to walk my clients through what happens in their brain, specifically when it comes to an expense, a monetary expense. When you're about to swipe your card for an expense, there is a mechanism that gets triggered mentally that you need to be aware of so that you know what is taking place to drive your actions of either swiping the card or not swiping the card. Like that inside knowledge about your own brain is so powerful. So I wrote, this is public information. Like I walked you through this through our email, Money Mastery Love Notes that I send out every Monday. I did a live on this on Facebook. So if you go to Green Wealth Legacy business page and you scroll through, it's decision part 1, 2, 3. Very simple. And I'm actually going to do a series on that on the podcast because I want it to be permanent. But I'm going deeper on this in Money Academy, obviously, because I have more time spent in the community to walk through every single scenario with my members. And then we can really explore how their brain is processing this mechanism, which is going to wake you up to the way you spend money. So powerful. I'm so excited about doing this. So it's coming up here in the second half of the year because that's when we're going to talk about decisions. But imagine being able to be aware of what's happening in your brain so that you're no longer at the mercy of your hormones, of your negative emotions, or even the positive ones, right? Because if Amy is at the helm, she's going to generate excitement, which is a positive emotion. That's going to drive you to swipe the card. But if it's not in alignment with the future version of who you want to become, who's financially confident and spends money based on values, then it will turn out to be a negative result. So if you're not at the mercy of those emotions and you have a process that allows you to spend money powerfully, how much more confident do you think you'll feel? Which is why it's so important for you to be intentional when you're spending time with your money. When you're going over your money dates and you're looking at your expenses, you want to be fully aware of them and why they're there and understand the purpose of each one of them and decide what results each of those expenses created. So important. This is you being conscious, right? And being deliberate about the way you spend your money. I'm going to walk you through a few questions in the decision-making course that I have in Money Academy. I have a whole list of questions that you want to ask yourself when you're spending money, when you're investing. But before we even get to that, I really want to explore your attitude about spending your money in a way that feels rewarding and so good. Because when you swipe your card, and then you turn around and you're not present for the purchase, whether it's a program, a class that you signed up for, a coach, a consultant, a medical purchase, a bill. Think about like even when you swipe your card for or you pay for the water bill, aren't you more conscious of how much water you use at home? You want to take full advantage of that expense. When you pay for your phone, you want to use your phone to the fullest, right? So it's the same thing with any other purchase you make. Like, what would create the desire in you not to take full advantage of what you spend your money on? Because here's what I'm going to go back on this. Your brain is noticing your attitude. And it's either connecting you back to yourself or disconnecting you because there's a level of, oh, so we don't care about that, but we just spend like $1,000 on that. We spend $2,000 on that and then we're not like taking care of it. So $2,000 is not important. And that's how you corrode your relationship with money. You want to be conscious, be aware, and be awake in your own life and decide this money, if you work 40 hours a week to earn your income, you owe it to yourself to spend every dollar with so much reverence. You have traded 40 hours of your week for this money. You deserve to be treated with reverence. So when you spend that money, spend it intentionally. And after the fact, get an hour. When I buy a book, Audible, you best believe I'm going to suck the life out of that book. I'm going to listen to that book over and over and over and over. I will consume that book. So when you want to talk about being a consumer, I want you to consume not being a consumer in the sense the world defined today where you're just spending, letting ads and commercials get to your emotions and you're just swiping. No judgment here, my friend. That used to be me. But I want you to consume what you spend your money on. Like, get so much out of that you look at that, you're like, yeah, I got my money's worth, all right? Because let me tell you something. This is how successful people stay successful. They're not investing in something where they're not determined to get the most ROI from it. So you owe it to yourself to investigate your attitude when you're spending money. Let me walk you through the questions I have selected. Let's see. About 4 questions out of all the questions that I want to share with you that you can ask yourself so that you know that when you're spending your money, you're spending it powerfully. So before you even swipe your card, ask yourself, what is my plan for generating a return on this expense? And in what time frame? Imagine asking yourself that before you swipe your card. How much more powerful will you feel when you're swiping the card? Like you are in control of your destiny, of what happens after you swipe the card. Because here's what the consumerism mentality is creating in people today. You swipe the card because you think the thing is what's going to bring you happiness. And so the minute you swipe the card, you wash your hands from responsibility. Now you're sitting and waiting for the thing to bring you happiness. But when you ask yourself, what is my plan for generating a return on this expense? All of a sudden, you're responsible 100%. So what are you going to do? What's the time frame you give yourself to generate a return? And the question is, what is the return? How do I determine that I was successful, that I got what I came for in this transaction? Is the return supposed to be monetary? Is it supposed to be emotional? Is it supposed to be mental? What is the return that I'm expecting from this transaction? The next question is, how am I going to ensure that I get what I came for? So what is what I'm trying to get from this, and how am I going to ensure that I do it? So this is where we're going back to the conversation about you signing up for a program and you know where to be found. You're not listening, you're not watching the training, you're not showing up for the sessions, you're not taking advantage of all the all the support that is available to you. If you're not present for it, how are you going to ensure that you get what you came for? Or you get advice, you get coaching, you get suggestions, you don't implement any of them. How will you ensure that you get what you came for? Whether you invest money, time, or energy is an investment. How are you spending that investment powerfully? Answer that question. How will you ensure that you get what you came for? And here is one really powerful question. What are the terms of the contracts? Will I respect and honor them no matter what? Do you know how many people do not read the contract, the terms of the contract? Most people. Do you even know what your contract is saying when you sign up for something? Do you know the terms? Do you know what's at stake? Do you know if you can get a refund or not? Listen, my friend, this requires that you wake up and you live in your life intentionally and on purpose. So what will you do? Will you keep with the old way of doing things and swiping and not remembering the amount that you spent? With eventually getting back to the coaching call, eventually scheduling a session, eventually fitting in, watching a training video, doing the work in the workbook? Or will you actively be present so that you use your money with reverence? You treat yourself with reverence because you deserve that kind of respect. This is part of you taking yourself seriously. When you invest in something, how are you taking advantage of it? And do you know the results it's creating for you? Can you tangibly point them out? Say, because of this thing, here's how my life has changed. Here's how I changed. Here are the results that I created. Can you do that? And if you cannot, my question to you is, why not? What is preventing you from being present in the transaction that you make with your life? So, I've given you a lot to think about. I'm so excited that you have this to ponder over because this will build your self-respect. When your brain notices how serious you are with your investment, you're no longer going to leak energy in spending time on things that don't matter. Everything you do is going to matter. Like, even it's not even just about how powerful you spend your money. It's going to be about your energy and your time. Like, do I need to be spending time here? What is the return on this expense, this time that I'm going to spend here? Your brain is going to start to think at a high level. Like, how much energy do I want to pour here? People pleasing is one of those things that is energy draining. You're going to start to think, do I need to be sitting here trying to make this person happy? I'm not responsible for their emotions. And not in a cocky way, but in a way that respects you. Because all the time you're spending people pleasing is taking energy away from you that you could be diverting it towards building your business, being the best employee you can be so that you have a great relationship with your boss, get that raise, show up in your own life, lose the weight, enjoy the fitness life. So it's not necessarily only about money. But most definitely, when you behave this way around money, it compounds. It shows up for you because money wants to be respected. And when you just swipe your card with no consequences, your brain is like, okay, well, I guess if you can't even take care of the one that you have, then we're not going to add more dollars to you. You see what I'm saying? You're expanding your capacity for more money when you create this level of respect, of self-respect. So you have your work cut out for you. I hope this was helpful. Have an incredible rest of your week. I love you so much, and thank you for listening. But before I go, if anything I've said here has resonated with you and you want to go deeper, you want to join Money Academy, because we're going to do all of the fun stuff. We're going to talk about making decisions. We're going to talk about what happens in your brain. We're going to go in detail about that. And that's going to equip you to face the world with so much confidence and power. I want to invite you to sign up for a free consultation by going to our website, greenwealthlegacy.com/. Wait, what in the world? greenwealthlegacy.com, and you can sign up for a free consultation. When you're on the homepage of the website, it's going to say book a free consult. Click on that and select the schedule that works for you. If any of the time slots you see on the schedule don't work for you, email us at theteam@greenwealthlegacy, and I will make whatever time you're available work, because you matter. That hour is one of the best hour of your life that you're going to spend with me on that free consult. So do not hesitate. Go to our website and book your free consultation. Have a great day, you guys. Goodbye.